new file. So create new A4 size, create. And so I'm going to use this text type tool in here. And so let's try changing the font for this one. Just like this. Now, at the moment, this is still a font as opposed to shapes. So I want the laser cutter reads vectors. It doesn't read other things. So at the moment, yeah, it wouldn't read this. So what I have to do is right click on it and say create outlines. And then right click again and say ungroup. Now they're all separate shapes. Okay. If I click on the white arrow, you can see all these vector points in here. So I can start to alter the way that this font looks as well if I wanted to. And it means I can move them closer together if I wanted, or make them bigger and smaller. Maybe I'll make the G bigger, like that. Maybe I'll move this in, like that. Here. I'm just going to make them all look similar, like this. And maybe that one. Okay. So I don't want those bits touching. I'm just going to move this up. There you go. Okay. So now let's highlight all of them because we want to make them all the same anyway. Over here, at the moment, I'm going to give it an outline. So let's cut these. So I'll just say OK to start with. Now we want it to be RGB red. So I'm going to bring red up to 255, green to 0, and blue to 0. And it's taken it automatically to CMYK, which we don't want. So let's put it back to RGB. Okay, that's better. Now this is too big. So if we look over here at stroke, it's because it's 1 point. We want it at 0.1. There we go, that's better. I could leave this as black and the laser cutter will fill that in, but because I've cut it, that means it would just fall out anyway. So let's just make that no fill. But what's going to happen is it's going to cut out this shape. That will fall out, but that means this interior bit would fall out too. So we might as well just ungroup it all. So if we just say release compound path, then I can delete that center bit and you can still read it. So that was a release compound path. Let's delete that and that bit as well. Release compound path and delete. Okay, so step back. Yeah, I can still read it. What I could do though, maybe I'm going to cut a bit out here. So I'm going to add an anchor point in here. So we say to add anchor, it was, let me find it again. So let's just say add, okay, so it was under path. So object, path, add anchor point. So it's added one in there. I'm just going to drag this up because it's kind of going to be like a stencil. So like this. There we go. I'm going to pull this out, just so it looks a bit more like a G. So I think that's better. There we go. And because there's a hole there, that should all cut all right. But I might actually bring that in a bit so then there's a bit more material there for the laser cutter. Then what I'm going to do is make an outside shape. I'm going to turn it into keyring like this one. So stroke's good. And my color, let's check the color. So that's not good. So see how that's at 32. We want the green and the blue to be at 0, and we want the red to be at 255. And let's copy and paste. Now, how big are these? So that at the moment is 1 millimeter by 0.8, which isn't very big. So let's make it, let's go 4 by 4. Okay, so let's make the whole thing bigger because it's actually quite tiny, which I didn't realize. So hold down Shift to keep it in proportion. This outside one is now, so 22 millimeters is actually only 2 centimeters, so it's around 2 by 2 centimeters, so that's small. Let's make it double that, so 4 by, so 40 by 40. There we go, so that's better. I didn't realize how small it was. Let's make this bigger. I'm going to group these together. So that was just right click and group. Just so then when I can grab stuff, I'll grab it like that. And it just makes it easier. So that the writing will cut out and the circle will cut out. So now let's save it. So we go File, Save As, and I'll change it here to Gemma Key, and let's change it to EPS for the laser cutter and save. Okay.